Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we are here to discuss The Real Housewives of Potomac season 10 episode 7. Listen, while it was a filler episode, we are having a really good Real Housewives of Potomac season, and I'm excited. If you did not see it, Karen made her return into Bravo Society at BravoCon this past weekend, and she looks good. Looks good. She got like a standing ovation from the class. And listen, while I'm happy that Karen is out of jail, I hope that she is committed to bettering herself and that we don't have any more of those DUIs, because those are dangerous, a danger to society. Nevertheless, we get Monique back this episode, and while I am not a person who was like, yay, Monique's coming back, I still was very underwhelmed to see her, but I realized that she really did give us an iconic, historical line with Pastor Holy Whore. Now, I was very confused because her confessional is a white background, and of course, when I'm confused and I have questions about Housewife, I go to the place I know I can get answers, which is Threads. And I guess she had on that metallic like top, and the green screen background was like reflecting or something and was making her top disappear. So that's why she had to have the white background. But it was like really shocking. It took me aback. I was like, huh, right? But of course she's coming back by way of Ashley. And Ashley is really trying her hardest to distract us from the fact that she has no storyline. What are we talking about with Ashley? Seriously, what are we talking about with Ashley? Nothing. And it's not even that she has to have this like big elaborate storyline per se, but even with the divorce from Michael, she could barely talk about it. She barely talked about it. Therefore, she is being messy with other situations. The thing about that is she is not making any sense. There is no reason for Stacey to tell Monique that she may or may not have gone on a few dates with her ex-husband. Key words, ex-husband. Not only are Stacey and Monique not friends, they weren't on the show at the same time. Stacey and Chris are two grown adults. Chris and Monique are divorced. And you know what I realized this episode when Monique came at the end? I didn't realize that Monique's last season was Wendy's first season. And then when they showed the flashback to the whole, like, if I would have known I could have brought my baby, I would have. Monique was like, well, you should have asked for that. And Ashley's over in the next room feeding one of Michael's kids. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. So if Wendy don't know Monique, then Stacey for damn sure don't know Monique. Now, we do spend some time in the Osefo home this episode, and they had a calculator on the side of the screen adding up their home renovations, and I was like, ooh. Now Wendy was at BravoCon this past weekend, and she seemed to be all smiles. She was quick with it. She wasn't being like meek or anything. So very interesting. The lawyer BravoCon people or Bravo people were saying that they're not surprised by her demeanor. I don't know. I'm very confused. But what I will say is, when in the trailer, when they showed that clip of Wendy being like, oh, I realized he doesn't love me, I knew she was talking about her dad. A lot of people were like, oh, marriage issues with Eddie and Wendy, marriage issues with Eddie and Wendy. I was like, no, I feel like she's talking to her dad, because like part of me remembered that she has a similar relationship with her dad as I have with mine. And then when she was explaining that her dad and her birthday stuff, I was like, yep, that's exactly what I thought. But you know, a duo that I am really enjoying, and that is Stacey and Wendy. They are an unlikely duo that I did not think that I would be so entertained by. Like Wendy said, Stacey is deeply unserious. Okay, and that's just the energy she needs. And you know what, I think that's the energy she is going to need in these coming months as well. I guess she was supposed to have some type of hearing or something on the 7th, and it didn't happen. I don't know. I need to consult with my boots on the ground reporter Taria about that, of what else is going on. But I'm glad that Wendy can just laugh at Stacey in her shenanigans and her naming her cannabis line Shayo, a Nigerian term in which she says, you know, I love my Nigerian sister. I cannot. You know, Wendy is just somebody who clearly wants to giggle about, and I support that. But you know who doesn't support that is Angel. And listen, I'm not surprised that Angel's sister did not have kind things to say about Giselle and Wendy, because her sister is coming to her being like, these are the people that are, you know, making my life hard right now. However, it is still very weird to me that Angel has more to say and more vim for Wendy than for Giselle, right? Her sister did, you know, throw some shots at Giselle, but then her sister turns around and says, and that other one can't even say Wendy's name. I said, and I heard in there when Angel was like, that doesn't strike me, that's not how you act towards somebody you're trying to get to know. And I'm gonna do a callback to, I think, a video or two Potomac videos ago, when I said I was on Angel's Instagram and they were doing the superlatives, and she said Wendy was the one that was most welcoming to her at first. But again, at this point, you are dead set with having an issue with her. So why the fuck would she keep continuing to try to be nice to you when you have shown that it's not welcome, or you expect people to fall to the ground and kiss your ass and coddle your feelings? And the fact that Giselle is the one that called you a catfish, the one that brought it to the group, etc., etc., and all Wendy did was laugh, and you're sitting here comparing Wendy to Forrest Whitaker and saying she has asshole lips. First of all, why can you not even throw shade properly? I said this on TikTok. I would have more respect for Angel if she just straight up called Wendy a bug-eyed bitch. You don't have to bring Forrest Whitaker into it. That man is somewhere not bothering anybody in his mansion, okay? And it's just one of those things that, once again, Angel claims that she is all love and light and I don't have the energy to be mean and I don't think like that. But then when it comes time to insult somebody, you have really, you go low. You go really, really, really insulting, right? Forrest Whitaker, I'm not sure what's wrong with Forrest Whitaker's eyes. I'm really not. I don't know Forrest Whitaker, but not only did you insult Forrest Whitaker, you're trying to insult Wendy, and like, it's just like, what is going on here? And to be honest, Wendy already spilled her own tea, and Giselle did too, because Giselle said, Wendy over here loves a filter, and Wendy said, I sure do. All right. Giselle, I felt like what they said about Giselle soft focusing her neck is fair, and that was equal, right? A drag for a drag, a Photoshop for a Photoshop. But then when it comes to Wendy, you need to go to hell. Like, she really needs to figure out what her fucking beef is. And I saw some clips from BravoCon's red carpet, and I was like, she was attempting to throw shade, and it was just embarrassing. Even Kiana could tell, because she had the microphone and she goes, thank you. It was rough. Speaking of Kiana, first of all, did Greg tell us he had 3 kids last season? Because when they said Greg got 3 kids, I said, 3 kids? 3 kids? Oh. I truly don't care about Greg and Kiana's relationship whatsoever, because I do feel like it's all an act. But if it's not an act, whoop-de-doo, good for you. I just don't care. I truly don't care about them going to the Wu-Tang concert with Greg in that small t-shirt on. Couldn't care less. But once again, Kiana has a fear of not being included in any group scene, because when Monique walked in, there was no reason for there was no reason for anybody to introduce the conversation of Stacey and Monique, right? But there was no reason for Kiana to be the one to talk and connect Stacey and Monique and Chris. Why? Because Kiana was never even on the show when Monique was on the show. Shut up. Go put your tie-dye t-shirt on and be quiet. You don't have to be a part of every scene. If somebody I don't know is coming up to me and trying to ask me if my ex-husband is dating another person I don't know, I'm gonna be like, and I don't know you, okay? I don't know you. Why are you asking me? But this is a double I don't know, okay? Get out of my face. I'm gonna be like, oh, you are certainly in everybody's business. Weird. That is all my thoughts for this episode of Real Housewives of Potomac. Don't forget to drop down in the comments and let me know how you were feeling about this episode, and I will talk to y'all next time. Bye.